Alright, let's check out basketball bets for March Madness. Um, you got 7 versus 10, Michigan State versus USC. If I had to bet on this in Columbus, Ohio, so Michigan State got the home court kind of. Would I bet on Michigan State winning this? Hmm, that'd be a tough bet. I wouldn't bet that game. Yeah, I just wouldn't bet that game, cause yeah, I wouldn't bet that game. But if I had to bet, I'm really not into betting this game, but if I had to bet, I would bet on USC covering that spread. So they got Michigan State favored by 2.5. Then we go move on to Kennesaw State Xavier. Not really into betting this game, but if I had to, in Greensboro, North Carolina, 12.5 is a lot, double digits. The Xavier number 3 seed. So I'd probably go with Xavier if I had to bet. But it's a game I'm not too interested in betting in. UC Santa Barbara versus Baylor, 10.5 spread. Now this game, I'm definitely betting on Baylor to cover that spread to win by more than 10.5. It's one of the more favorable matchups I'm interested in betting on. And then we got 12 versus 12 versus. Wait, where's their seating at? Where they're 16? What? 5? Well, VCU versus St. Mary's. St. Mary's 4-point advantage. I would probably in Albany, New York. That's kind of more of a home game for the VCU team than California team. So I'll probably take VCU. They have a lot of more tournament experience. They have gotten to the Sweet 16 before, maybe even Elite 8. I know they beat Florida State to get to that Sweet 16 or Elite 8 before it. So I'll go with VCU. It's my second most game I'm interested in voting. Second most confident I'm voting in over this one first so far. So then we got Vermont versus Marquette. Vermont versus Marquette. In Columbus, 15 versus 2. Is Marquette going to cover the spread on that? I would say so. Yeah. I would go with Marquette covering the 10-point spread on that. Yeah, I would bet that. Would it be? It might be one of my first options to bet, actually. Pittsburgh versus Iowa State. Iowa State 4.5 favorite. Not really into betting on this game, but I mean, I would bet. I'll probably bet on Pitt though to cover that 4.5 spread. Yeah, I bet on Pitt to cover that 4.5 spread to be within 4.5, within 4 points or less of a loss or a win. Yeah. Then we got NC State versus Creighton, Denver. Creighton 5-point favorite. Creighton has great tournament history, but I think NC State ACC team should be able to. They should be able to beat them. So I would give it to NC State. This is a game I have maybe not low interest, not too high of interest, but mediocre interest in voting in. Compared to the other few games I mentioned. Creighton 5.0, I got them, for sure. Iona versus Connecticut, I have For some reason, I want to take Iona to cover the 9-point spread. But it is in Albany, New York, and Connecticut town, so that may be tough. I have a middle interest in doing that deal. Mid-level interest, not low, not high, not very high, and not no interest at all. But yeah, Iona, if I had to bet mid interest bet, I'll go with Iona to cover that 9.5. Then we got Purdue versus Philip Dickinson 23. Wow. Philip Dickinson in Columbus, Ohio. Would I bet on Purdue to cover 23 points? I have mid interest in betting on this. Do I think Dickinson could be within 23? Yes. I would bet on Dickinson being within 23. I have mid interest in betting on this. Well, mid to high, not very high, mid to high. 1 versus 16 matchup is, kind of exciting. Now the spread on this Providence Kentucky game, 6 versus 11. I'm gonna take Kentucky on this one. I guess I do have a higher interest in this game. Maybe not very high, but high interest in betting this for Kentucky to cover that 4.5 spread in Greensboro, North Carolina. Then we got Drake versus Well, I'm definitely have a high interest in this. Maybe very high. I'm taking Miami and NY to beat Drake by more than 2. For sure at 5 versus 12, but that's an interesting spread being. That would be more. You would think that would be more of an 8 versus 9 seed type spread. But I guess 12 seeds do have a habit of beating 5 seeds in the first round of the tournament. So we got Gonzaga versus Grand Canyon, 15.5. I have a mid interest in betting this. If I had to bet 15.5, do I think Grand Canyon can stay within 15 to Gonzaga? Nah, I don't think so. But I have a mid interest in Denver, Colorado. Can they stay within 15? Maybe. I have a mid to low interest in betting this game. But if I had to bet, I'm gonna go with Gonzaga beating them by more than 15. I mean by more than. Actually, it has to be more than 15.5, so 16 or more. FAU versus Memphis. I'm gonna go with Memphis for the 2.0 in Columbus. FAU, I'm gonna go with Memphis beating that 2.0. Do I have a high interest bet? Yeah, I have a mid to high interest in voting this game, and I'm betting on Memphis, Columbus. Then we got Greensboro, Kansas State versus Montana State. Kansas State 7.5. I have a mid to high, mid interest in voting on this. I would bet on Kansas State on this one to cover that 7.5 spread. Kent State versus Indiana. In Albany, NY, I would vote on NY to cover the spread. Kent State versus Indiana, I would bet on. I have a low interest in betting on this. Indiana versus Kent State, any low interest. But if I had to bet, I'll choose Indiana to cover that, to beat them by 5 or more. Then we got Arizona State versus TCU in Colorado. I would TCU favored by 5. I have a mid-level interest in betting on this. I would probably bet on Arizona State to come within be within 5 or win. Then we go Furman, San Diego State. Well, that's the next day, so we'll do these games later. They already got the Saturday game set up, but these Friday games, those my bet options. And then we got Georgia versus Florida State women's at 1:30 p.m. I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna have a high interest level in betting on this women's first round game. I think it's 7 versus 10, something like that, 8 versus 9. But I'm gonna go with I'll definitely go with Florida State, even though their best player is out, who's a freshman, freshman of the conference or something like that. Who's out, but I'm gonna go with Florida State to win, to either lose by 1 or win, or pretty much. Well, actually it's 2.5. That's just the first half, but it's 2.5. Yeah, I'll go with Florida State to be within 2 or win. So that's what it is. Those are my bets for college basketball. I got for the playoffs, March Madness tourney. Holla. Maybe I'll do NBA, when we get closer to playoffs more so, but yeah, holla.